As a nutritionist specializing in geriatric health for over 2 decades, I've witnessed a silent epidemic that casts a long shadow over the golden years, the creeping onset of type 2 diabetes. I've sat across from countless individuals in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, their faces etched with worry as they grapple with a new diagnosis. They often tell me the same story. I don't even eat that much sugar, or I've eaten the same breakfast for 30 years. Why is this happening now? The answer, I've come to learn, is not just about what we eat, but how and when we eat, especially as our bodies change with age. Our metabolism, once a roaring furnace, becomes a slow-burning ember. Our cells, particularly muscle cells, can become less responsive to insulin, the vital hormone that ushers glucose from our bloodstream into our cells for energy. This phenomenon, known as insulin resistance, is the central villain in the story of type 2 diabetes. When insulin can't do its job effectively, sugar hangs around in the bloodstream, leading to high blood glucose levels that, over time, can damage nearly every system in the body, from our eyes and kidneys to our nerves and heart. The typical morning meal for many Westerners is, unfortunately, a perfect storm for this condition. A bowl of sweetened cereal, a piece of white toast with jam, a glass of orange juice. These are all high glycemic foods. They are digested rapidly, causing a dramatic spike in blood sugar. Your pancreas then has to work overtime, pumping out a flood of insulin to deal with the sudden glucose surge. For an aging body already struggling with insulin resistance, this morning ritual is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It's a cycle of spikes and crashes that exhausts the pancreas and worsens cellular resistance over time. This is where my core philosophy for elderly clients began to form. We had to change the beginning of the story. We had to change breakfast. I began to preach a new gospel, one centered not on deprivation, but on the addition of one of the most ancient and powerful food sources known to man: nuts. I told them I didn't want them to think about what to remove, but what to add. Specifically, I wanted them to start their day with a small, strategic handful of specific nuts. Why nuts? Because they're the antithesis of a high glycemic breakfast. They are a biological treasure chest, perfectly designed by nature to provide sustained energy. Let's break down their core components. First, the healthy fats. Nuts are rich in monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, the same kind you find in olive oil and avocados. These fats don't just protect your heart. They play a direct role in improving insulin sensitivity. They help maintain the fluidity and health of cell membranes, making it easier for insulin receptors to function properly. Second is the fiber. Nuts contain a potent combination of soluble and insoluble fiber. This fiber acts like a sponge in your digestive system, slowing down the absorption of carbohydrates and sugars from your entire meal. This means no sharp, dangerous spike in blood sugar. Instead, you get a gentle, rolling wave of energy that lasts for hours. This fiber also feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut. And emerging research continues to show a profound link between a healthy gut microbiome and improved metabolic health. Third, the protein. While not as high in protein as meat or legumes, nuts provide a significant amount, which works in concert with the fiber and fat to promote a feeling of fullness or satiety. When you feel full and satisfied after breakfast, you are far less likely to reach for a sugary mid-morning snack. This reduction in overall calorie intake and elimination of processed snacks is fundamental to weight management, which is arguably the most important factor in preventing or controlling type 2 diabetes. Finally, nuts are packed with essential micronutrients, especially magnesium. I call magnesium the unsung hero of blood sugar control. This mineral is a cofactor in over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including those involved in glucose metabolism and insulin action. Unfortunately, many older adults are deficient in magnesium, and studies have consistently linked low magnesium levels with a higher risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Nuts are one of the best dietary sources of this critical mineral. So, the principle was established. A morning handful of nuts could stabilize blood sugar, improve insulin sensitivity, promote satiety, and deliver crucial micronutrients. The next step was to identify the champions. While almost any raw, unsalted nut is a good choice, my research and clinical experience pointed to 5 specific nuts that offer a unique and powerful combination of benefits for those looking to fend off diabetes. They became the starting 5 in my program. In the next part, we will delve into each of these 5 nuts, exploring their unique properties and how to best incorporate them into your morning routine for maximum effect. This simple addition, this small handful, has been for so many of my clients the first step in reclaiming control of their health. Point 1. Almonds, the all-round protector. If you were to choose only one nut, the almond would be a strong contender. They're a true powerhouse of metabolic health. What makes them stand out is their exceptional concentration of magnesium. As we discussed, magnesium is critical for glucose control, and a single ounce of almonds, about 23 nuts, provides nearly 20% of your daily requirement. This alone makes them invaluable. But their benefits don't stop there. Almonds are loaded with monounsaturated fats and fiber. A landmark study published in the journal Metabolism found that consuming almonds with a high glycemic food, like white bread, significantly lowered the overall glycemic impact of the meal. In essence, the almonds acted as a buffer, protecting the body from the rapid sugar surge. How I advise using them. I tell my clients to keep a small jar of raw, unblanched almonds on their kitchen counter. The skin is important as it contains a significant amount of the nut's antioxidants. Eating a small handful alongside a piece of fruit, like an apple, or sprinkling slivered almonds over a bowl of plain Greek yogurt creates a perfectly balanced, low glycemic start to the day. 2. Walnuts, the brain and body booster. Walnuts are visually unique, resembling a tiny brain, and fittingly, they are celebrated for their cognitive benefits. But their power in diabetes prevention lies in a different unique quality. They're one of the very few plant-based sources of alpha-linolenic acid, ELA, a type of omega-3 fatty acid. While most people think of fish oil for omega-3s, walnuts offer a potent dose. Chronic inflammation is a key accomplice to insulin resistance. It damages cells and impairs their ability to respond to insulin. The ALA in walnuts has powerful anti-inflammatory properties, helping to quell this underlying inflammation throughout the body. Furthermore, research has shown that the polyunsaturated fats in walnuts can improve the function of the endothelium, the lining of our blood vessels, which is often compromised in people with metabolic syndrome. How I advise using them. A serving is about 1 ounce, which equates to about 7 whole walnuts or 14 halves. Their slightly bitter taste pairs wonderfully with the sweetness of oatmeal. I suggest stirring chopped walnuts into a warm bowl of steel-cut oats, along with a sprinkle of cinnamon, another powerful blood sugar regulating spice. 3. Pistachios, the mindful snack. Pistachios are a bit different from the others, and I love them for 2 reasons. First, they have a slightly better macronutrient profile in terms of calories and fat, offering more nuts per ounce than many others. They are also rich in antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which are great for eye health, a key concern for diabetics. But the second, more subtle reason is psychological. I recommend buying pistachios in their shells. The act of having to shell each nut slows down the eating process. This mindful eating prevents mindless overconsumption. Moreover, the pile of empty shells provides a powerful visual cue for how much you've eaten, a concept known as the pistachio principle, which has been shown to help people reduce their overall calorie intake. Studies have specifically shown that pistachios can significantly reduce the post-meal spike in blood glucose. How I advise using them. A serving of about 30 to 40 pistachios in the morning is a fantastic, crunchy, and satisfying snack. Eat them one by one while you read the paper or listen to the radio. Always choose the unsalted, roasted variety to avoid excess sodium. 4. Pecans, the antioxidant powerhouse. Pecans are often associated with indulgent pies, but raw pecans are a formidable ally for your health. They are bursting with antioxidants. In fact, They are among the highest of all nuts in antioxidant content, specifically a form of vitamin E called gamma-tocopherol. Oxidative stress is another key driver of insulin resistance. It's like rust on our cells caused by unstable molecules called free radicals. The antioxidants in pecans help neutralize these free radicals, protecting your cells from damage and supporting healthy metabolic function. Pecans are also rich in oleic acid, the same monounsaturated fat that makes olive oil so healthy for the heart. Since heart disease and diabetes are so closely linked, a condition sometimes called cardiometabolic syndrome, pecans offer a valuable 2-for-1 benefit. How I advise using them. Their rich, buttery flavor makes them a treat. A handful of raw pecan halves is perfect on its own. They can also be chopped and mixed with a few berries and a dollop of cottage cheese for a high-protein, low-carb breakfast that keeps you full for hours. Urto de Brazil Nights. The Selenium Superstar. This is my secret weapon, but it comes with a very important warning. Brazil nuts are, by far, nature's most potent source of selenium, an essential trace mineral with powerful antioxidant properties. Selenium is a component of enzymes that help regulate metabolism and thyroid function, both of which are intertwined with blood sugar control. Some studies have suggested that optimal selenium levels are associated with a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes. However, this is a case where more is not better. Selenium can be toxic in high doses, a condition called selenosis. How I advise using them. This is the one nut where portion control is absolutely non-negotiable. I advise my clients to eat just 1 or 2 Brazil nuts per day. That's it. A single Brazil nut can contain 100% or more of the recommended daily intake of selenium. Think of it as your daily supplement in its most natural form. It's the easiest addition of all, just 2 nuts alongside your almonds or walnuts, and it provides a unique metabolic benefit you won't get from the others. By incorporating these starting 5 into their morning routine, my clients are not just eating breakfast. They are arming their bodies with a carefully selected arsenal of nutrients designed to hold the line against insulin resistance and change the course of their health for good. The in-depth explanation beyond the basics. The true power of this morning habit lies in 3 synergistic mechanisms. First is the L-arginine effect. Many nuts, particularly almonds and walnuts, are a rich source of an amino acid called L-arginine. In the body, L-arginine is a precursor to nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a potent vasodilator, meaning it helps relax and widen our blood vessels. This improved blood flow is crucial for cardiovascular health, but it also enhances the delivery of insulin and glucose to our muscle cells, making the entire process more efficient. Poor vascular health is a hallmark of prediabetes, and the L-arginine in nuts provides a direct tool to help combat it. Second is the polyphenol and antioxidant shield. We mentioned antioxidants in pecans, but all nuts contain a matrix of bioactive compounds called polyphenol. These are the same compounds that make green tea, dark chocolate, and red wine so beneficial. These polyphenol work in multiple ways. They actively fight the chronic, low-grade inflammation that fuels insulin resistance. They also combat oxidative stress, protecting the delicate insulin-producing beta cells in the pancreas from damage. When you eat a mix of nuts, you are consuming a diverse array of these protective compounds, creating a comprehensive shield against the cellular damage that underpins the development of diabetes. Third, and perhaps most profoundly, is the impact on satiety, weight management, and hormonal regulation. The combination of fat, fiber, and protein in nuts triggers the release of satiety hormones like cholecystokinin, CCK, and peptide YY. These hormones send powerful signals to your brain, telling you that you are full and satisfied. This is why a breakfast including nuts prevents the desperate hunt for a sugary snack at 10:30 a.m. This cascade effect is critical for long-term weight management. Maintaining a healthy body weight is the single most impactful lifestyle factor for preventing and managing type 2 diabetes. By starting the day with a food that naturally regulates your appetite, you're setting yourself up for a day of better choices. making weight control feel less like a battle and more like a natural outcome. A philosophy for the golden years. It is crucial to state that these 5 nuts are not a magic bullet. They are a cornerstone, not the entire cathedral. This morning ritual must be embedded within a broader lifestyle of health, a diet rich in vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. Regular physical activity to keep muscles sensitive to insulin, adequate sleep, and stress management. Always choose raw or dry roasted, unsalted nuts. The sugar-coated, honey-roasted, and heavily salted varieties are a different beast entirely and will negate the benefits. Variety is key. Mixing these nuts provides a broader profile of nutrients than sticking to just one. And as emphasized with the Brazil nut, portion control is paramount. A small, cupped handful, about 1 ounce, is the target. Nuts are calorie-dense, and while the calories are smart calories, they still count. In conclusion, taking control of your health as you age is not about radical deprivation. It is about making small, intelligent, and sustainable additions. It's about understanding the why behind your choices. Starting your day with a handful of almonds, walnuts, pistachios, pecans, and a single Brazil nut is more than just a breakfast suggestion. It is a proactive, science-backed declaration that you are taking charge of your metabolic health. It is a simple ritual that replaces a morning of blood sugar chaos with one of calm, sustained energy. For the countless seniors I have worked with, this small handful has become a symbol of empowerment, a delicious daily investment in a vibrant, healthier future free from the shadow of diabetes.